Hey everybody, welcome again to Make Food Thy Medicine. I'm Dr. Bijal and all this time I have been making healthy vegetarian recipes with vegetables. Today I'm in the mood to sweeten things up a little bit. So I'm going to show you to make a very healthy and very sweet cake at the same time. I know, healthy and sweet, how does that mix together? I will show you in a moment. Alright. So today we are going to make a cardamom date and walnut cake, and the first step to doing this is to turn our oven on. I'm going to set the oven at 345 degrees, okay? The next step is to line our cake. Now I have a heart-shaped cake liner which I'm using here. You can use any kind, and I have lined it with the PAM spray. Now the ingredients that we are going to use for this are as follows. Now there's a little prep work that you may do, but that is not always necessary. In this bowl I have 18 pitted dates, okay, which are soaked in the protein nut milk. Guys, I'm not endorsing this brand or anything. I use this milk for my morning smoothies. That is why I have soaked my dates in 3/4 cup of this protein nut milk. You can use the regular almond milk, you can use regular dairy milk, whatever your choice is. Now I just want you to take a look at the nutrition facts. It's actually really good. This milk contains about 10 grams of protein in 1 cup. Now since I have used 3/4 cup, I'm assuming that we would get at least 7 to 8 grams of protein in there. And then we have, you know, the saturated fat content, the sodium content and potassium content. It's really not bad, and it just has 2 grams of sugar. So that's, I have used 3/4 cup of this. Now in addition to that, I'm using 3/4 cups of walnuts. Now walnuts they are very rich in omega-3s, and that along with omega-6 provide excellent brain activity. You know, we know that walnuts are shaped like a brain, so they are actually called brain food, and omega-3s are actually very good for your heart, you know, so they are available in fish like sardine and such, but you can get it naturally from the walnuts, so I have included that. In addition to that, I have 1 tablespoon of hemp seeds. Hemp seeds are also very high in omega-3s and omega-6, but it has a higher ratio of omega-6. So that along with the walnut make a perfect combination for us. I have 1 teaspoon of baking soda. If you have baking powder, you can use 1 teaspoon of that too, but that will make the cake slightly denser. I have 1 tablespoon of powdered cardamom. This is very important because it gives a lot of flavor, because dates by themselves don't have that much flavor. They are sweet and they are fleshy, but they don't have a lot of flavor. So cardamom is what will give the flavor. Now the main flour ingredients that we are going to use are going to be 1/2 cup of almond flour and 1/2 cup of whole wheat flour. This is what I'm using here. Now almond flour in 1/4 cup gives you 7 grams of protein. Almonds also are high in PUFAs, polyunsaturated fatty acids. So I personally prefer using these 2 flours over using regular all-purpose flour for my baking needs. So I have used 1/2 cup of this, and I will be using 1/2 cup of whole wheat pastry flour. Now this one also has about in 1/4 cup it gives 4 grams of protein, but it's gliadin wheat protein. So people who may have celiac disease or they are gluten sensitive, you can easily replace the whole wheat flour with coconut flour, and that will work just fine. Okay. Now the amount of sugar content. This is interesting. Since we are using dates which are naturally high in sugar, we are not going to add a whole lot of sugar to this cake. It's only 1/4 cup actually. You can see the mark. I'm only using 1/4 cup of organic cane sugar. I do not like using sweeteners of any kind, so whenever I bake I use organic cane sugar. Anyway, this is to be eaten in moderation and occasionally, so I don't mind using plain sugar for that. Last but not the least, we are going to add 1 egg. Okay, now you can make this cake without an egg, but I don't mind adding an, you know, we eat eggs in our house, so I'm going to add 1. Now let me talk about the health benefits of dates, since they are the star of this recipe. Now dates are very rich in so many nutrients. First of all, they are very rich in dietary fiber. Okay, regular consumption of them has been shown to reduce GI illnesses like colitis, colon cancer if they are consumed regularly. Thousands of years ago, people used to use only dates after workouts because they not only gave you the right energy because they are high in sugar. Like one serving of dates will actually give you 66 grams of glucose, fructose and sucrose. But remember, it's not just the sugar, it is also high in fiber. So together, naturally, God has created it such that it lowers the glycemic index. So you can actually consume it as a post-workout meal. You can consume 2 dates in half a cup of milk, and that will give you a lot of energy. Now, dates are also very rich in iron. So all those people who suffer from iron deficiency anemia, instead of taking iron pills, you can also consume 1 or 2 dates if you don't have a diabetes problem. The other thing is dates are also very rich in sulfur. Okay, it's a source of organic sulfur. So it prevents carcinogenesis actually, and it has been seen in a lot of studies. They have, of course, these are not randomized control trials because who's going to fund trials to see the health benefits of dates, right? But they have been shown to reduce carcinogenesis if consumed for a prolonged period of time, yes, within moderate limits. If anybody has traveled to the Middle East, you must have noticed that they give walnuts or cashews stuffed in a date, and that is actually given as a treat, as a dessert. It actually tastes very delicious, which is why I came up with this combination of making a cake with it. We all know that in some religions, after fasting, they consume dates as a first thing to break the fast. Why? Because it is considered the ideal food. It has a perfect balance of proteins, vitamins, minerals. It has about 15 minerals: selenium, magnesium, copper, manganese, and it naturally works to lower blood pressure. So there are a lot of heart health benefits to dates, guys. They should be consumed within moderation every day. Okay? Now enough with the health benefits, let's just making the cake, right? So the first thing we are going to do is I'm going to get the dry ingredients together. Okay, I'm going to mix almond flour. This was half a cup of almond flour. So we have half a cup of almond flour in there, and then I'm going to take half a cup of whole wheat flour. Again, guys, I'm not endorsing any brands here. These are just the things that I have on hand which I'm using. So this is exactly half a cup of whole purpose flour, whole wheat actually. You can use coconut flour, you can use quinoa flour in this place, but this is what I have, and I'm going to use these. I'm going to mix these 2 flours together. So this comes out to be 1 cup of flour. Okay, to this I'm going to add the hemp seeds, baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of crushed powdered cardamom, and I'll just mix it all together well. Okay, I'm going to throw in the walnuts at this time too. This is actually a really easy recipe. It's 1, 2, 3 and done. Okay, the next step is putting the wet ingredients together. Now we only have to mix these wet ingredients in a blender. It's real easy. So I'm going to use this, put this all into my little ninja mixie. Okay. The next thing is to break this egg inside. Alright, wish me luck. I hope I don't break this outside. There you go, I did it well. Not perfect, but close to. And the last thing is we are going to add the sugar in here. Now, if you want to completely not use sugar, that's fine. It's just that it will become a cardamom date walnut bread and not a cardamom date walnut cake. So you can make a bread out of it too. But we're going to sweeten things up just a little bit here. Now, okay, So we are going to blend this all in my Ninja. So here is our date, milk, egg and sugar mixture, and now I'm going to start adding a dry mixture and mix it all together very well. You must be wondering what the nuts are doing on the side. They are for a little garnishing in the end. You know guys, when I was growing up, at that time we didn't have cakes with frosting that we could consume almost on a daily basis. We didn't have treats that often. I remember when I was a kid, my mom used to make cakes like this, you know, like dry cakes with, I mean, when I mean dry, I mean the ones without frosting. Let me use the right term. So my mom used to make cakes like this, always with whole wheat flour. And I remember we had a very small oven with sand at the bottom that she used to, you know, bake with. It was very nostalgic. But I have a feeling it was a good thing that back then we didn't use so much frosting for cakes. You know, kids weren't that obese and adults didn't have that much diabetes as people do now. So anyway, so I think we're almost done. This is the last. There we go. And we're going to mix it all together. There, it's all done. Now I'm going to transfer it to my cake liner here. Okay. So I'm going to just give it the shape of my cake liner here and tap it a little bit so it will conform to the shape. There you go. Now just for a little garnishing, I'm going to add these walnuts along the periphery so that when the cake comes out it has a nice little design on the edge. If you're going to use a muffin, I mean, you can make muffins out of the same recipe and you can add, you know, one in the center. That will also look very cute. Now, given that it has so many nutrients in this cake, you can actually use it as an after work snack, you know, and not feel too much guilty about it. Like I said, if you don't want to add sugar, that's fine too. I have made this cake without sugar and it tastes nice. I mean, if you like that kind of a mild sweet taste, it tastes nice because there's a lot of flavor in here from the cardamom. So it's a very flavorful cake actually, and you will notice when you make it. So there, we are almost done the garnishing. There you go. Now I'm going to put this in the oven for 35 to 40 minutes, okay? The cake has been baking for the past 40 minutes and the oven just beeped, so I'm going to go and get it out. There you go. You see how nice that looks? So you see guys how awesome this looks? A perfect heart-shaped cake. Alright, so we're finally going to give this a taste. Keep in mind, I'm not adding any glaze to this. So, this smells of cardamom. I love the aroma of cardamom. This is so flavorful. It is mild sweet, very mild sweet, and it has a lot of flavor from cardamom, and you know we also have walnuts in there in between, so those come up. So guys, for me this is an excellent treat. that I can eat without any guilt and get a lot of nutrition out of. So definitely do try it and let me know how you like it. Subscribe to Make Food Thy Medicine and leave your comments, suggestions. I'd be very happy to read them. Okay, thank you.